My dad just got into the rear and said, "Oh, sorry, he checked up." It fucked Ross off into the fence hard.
How is that one a 5-lap penalty and not everything else we see in NASCAR?
That's why I just feel like it's just the hook thing. If you hook them, they're going to penalise you.
But didn't Sebo hook him?
Well, that was a misjudgment. He didn't actually hook him.
He just went left.
Yeah, he wiped him, but he wasn't like, there's a wipe, not a hook.
He wiped him, not hooked.
See, I should work for NASCAR. That's the difference. There's a wipe and a hook now. He wiped him, not hooked him.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh no! He's in the fence! The boat's in the fence! They're all in the fence! Oh, unbelievable!
Do you want to take us away this time?
I'd love nothing more than to take you away.
Treat yourself, go on.
Sound check.
Oh, it's fast. That was aggressive. Sound check.
It's episode 69.
That's why you're
no point playing with it, just get in there.
Well, you can do the intro then, Barbs.
Welcome, Hunters. Episode 69, we're talking NASCAR and IndyCar. We had NASCAR at the Brickyard 400 in Annapolis, and we had IndyCar at the famous Monterey Laguna Seca, the corkscrew. We're going to tuck right in and get stuck into it, so strap in.
I don't know if you're just taking that tone of voice because it's episode 69. But it has been good, mate. We've just finished we've done this back-to-back, but the Formula 1 podcast, hopefully everyone has enjoyed that. But if you've come across this one before our Formula 1 debrief from Spa, go back, watch 68 before you hit this one. But yeah, this one was cool. Actually a real feel-good win, I felt like, for NASCAR with Bubba Wallace. And a Brickyard, yeah, I feel like it holds a lot of meaning over there. I know Shane Van Gisbergen said in an interview somewhere that it doesn't hold a lot of prestige out here in this part of the world. He said, watching Scott Dixon, obviously at Indianapolis, it means a lot, but to him it doesn't. But what I thought was really cool, because they call it one of their crown jewels.
Yeah.
I think there's 4 they give that title to for the whole series, and Brickyard is one of those. And you could really see what it meant to Bubba. To win there, I feel like you've made it in terms of respect from other drivers and everything in NASCAR if you can win one of the crown jewels. And so that was a feel-good moment. I thought it really shone through what that place means to him.
I all want to kiss the bricks.
Yeah, even Connor Zillisch, which we'll get into. We'll do a little dabble of XFINITY series tonight as well, because excited to see where this kid goes in the future. But Connor, I loved his post-race interview where he's just like, straight away, I'm ready to kiss those bricks. Must be a cool feeling when there's a track like that. Must be like Bathurst. It means so much to everyone.
I think anywhere where there's like a ritual that gets done when you win it, I think is a cool thing and something that people want to do.
Yeah, I've kissed the bricks, actually.
Have you?
Just remembered, yeah.
What did you win at Indy?
Well, I was actually with about 350,000 other fans at the Indianapolis 500. Myself,
Pay to kiss the bricks?
Yeah, myself and Fabs, Fabian Coulthard, we got down on our hands and knees and kissed the bricks. You got the photo. But it's just one of those things. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it is a pretty cool place. Like I know Shane said it doesn't mean a lot out this side of the world, but to be honest, you do go to those places and you get that.
You can feel the history.
You can, yeah. Like it's iconic. It's like the tower there. Everything I feel like is you do feel it, and like that's what I say with the post-race interviews, you can tell when somewhere is special and it means a lot, and then even the way the commentators talk during the race, what's at stake comes through to us even on the other side of the world. I think
that's one thing we don't have a lot here. Well, I don't think we've got any, mate, in Australia with the racing, like as in rituals when you win. Like we've got no real icon. There's a couple of iconic trophies and stuff, but there's nothing.
We missed this in the debrief from Townsville.
Yeah.
NASCAR fans, if you're listening here, you won't know what we're talking about here, but I'll insert a photo of what the trophy was
belt buckles
at the Townsville Supercar event. I thought that was like way too small.
Like cool to get one, but also you want a cup or something cool, like a trophy.
Yeah, but do one like this big.
We can't. You can't wear that to the pub.
Yeah, but you imagine putting that on display in your trophy cabinet against all the other ones that are like oversized and stuff. And I feel like that was like a little taste of NASCAR. I was like, that's kind of cool. Like we do the didgeridoo, we do the surfboard. Like the surfboard's probably one of the coolest. Like everyone wants a surfboard.
The surfboard's cool.
I never got one, and I just always remember being like, fuck, I really wish I got a surfboard. And I feel like the belt buckle, being in Townsville, it's cowboy country. They had the Cowboys up there as well. And I thought, fuck, that'd be sick to have like an oversized cowboy belt. Yeah. Even if it was like a UFC belt, just give you a belt with the buckle on it.
Or an oversized cowboy hat.
Something. Yeah. Like they do at Texas, the big helmet, big hats there.
We digress a little bit, but I just thought that isn't something that we don't really have here is like rituals when you win. Like, they've got the milk for Indy 500. They've got, the kiss of bricks. There's some things that they've got that we just don't tend to have, which is disappointing. So maybe we need to create some rituals.
Talk about the milk for the bricks with the Indianapolis 500. What about Dale Jr. drinking Budweiser in the press conference? A team owner on the beers in the press conference, I think, has gone from, I don't know what's above GOAT status because, like, he's amazing. But
he was
he's
legend status and he's now gone to God status.
Yeah.
Like,
that's badass.
it just seems like a guy you just want to go around to his joint, take around a slab, sit by the barbecue, sizzle up some snags. Sizzle up some snags and crack a couple of cold ones with him. But yeah, good on him.
And he would have been stoked, mate. So we might as well crack the top off this one. The Xfinity Series was won by Connor Zillisch, 3 on the trot and 100 for JR Motorsport now.
Connor Z. Did we see any shirts with that? We said they were going to be on shirts.
Yeah, it might not be trending just yet. Give it a day or two and I'm sure they'll catch on. I'd still think that's a shit nickname, by the way, but anyway.
Very cool for Junior Motorsport to get the 100 wins in the Xfinity Series. What an effort.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of their drivers like Noah Gregson and a few put up posts congratulating them and that were small parts of those wins that had won some races for them. So very cool. Obviously Shane's a part of that club.
Well, not small parts. To win one race is pretty hard.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm saying that's what like Noah actually said. It goes good to be a small part of the 100.
Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah.
But yeah, Shane's a part of that, which is pretty cool considering he's only done a couple of races in Xfinity with JR, or one. How many races did he do with JR? 2, maybe.
2, I believe.
Yeah. So
he did Chicago, didn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So for them to get 100, and then obviously, yeah, to your point, mate, Dale Jr. thought, fuck yeah, crack a cold one and enjoy the moment. So
I mean, he's a good operator. That team must be one of the best teams because you think about it, like Shane ran 1-2 with Connor at Chicago. They were on 1-2 at Pocono. You know, Connor's rocking up on these ovals now. Sorry, not Pocono, Sonoma.
Yeah.
And I think Connor got his first oval win. I know it's triangle, but Pocono there.
Yeah.
He's now won on the rectangle, really, which is Indy. And, you know, every time they turn up, they're contenders. And you know, I think it's very cool to see a young guy doing what he's doing, 19 years old. I'm curious to see where he goes because is NASCAR the sport for a kid that talented with Red Bull support? Opportunities are endless. Do you just go in the Cup Series and spend the next 25 years doing Cup Series, or is he the guy that wants to drive some different things throughout his career? And the one side effect of NASCAR is they do so much racing in a year. There's probably no opportunity for anything else.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with 25 years or so in a NASCAR. Like, it's an amazing career. But I wonder if he's got a taste just maybe for something else before he goes deep diving in a Cup Series, or whether he'd maybe go and do something after that.
Yeah. Look, I personally think if he was to go and say, let's say he wanted to go down F1 path or something, I think he would need to do that before he does Cup, as in too much Cup. But I don't know. Interesting. I mean, to me, I don't know him. He seems like a racer, though. I think that's one thing that NASCAR has for it is they do race a lot. So those guys that just live for racing cars and want to drive a car every week, it suits them.
They get that fix, yeah.
You know, for someone that wants to go and do different things throughout a year, it's probably not the series for them. And saying that, I mean, they race midweek in America, like in Speedway and stuff, so you can still kind of get a lot of shit done.
Yeah, well, you know, Marcus Ambrose was with you on the weekend out at the Trans Am round, and I got to chatting to him for a little while, and he said he used to hit up Tony Stewart and go, hey, what are we doing this week? Like, what racing's on? He'd take him out to the Speedway, and he said, we're cutting laps. And he said, I did a lot of Speedway work when I was over there because you just drive. Like, all you're doing is racing. So the 5 days in between, you're like, well, what should I do? You know, might as well just go drive a race car somewhere. So he said that Smoke would hook him up with a car and he'd be testing this, testing that. So they literally are just driving cars all year. You know, I don't even think they think of it like race weekends. They're just like, what's what I do each week?
Yeah.
Let's go drive a race car.
It's like going for a run or going to the gym or whatever.
And the format's amazing. I think it saves a lot of burnout because I saw a video the other day. It was like 13 minutes to load the transporter for Gibbs, I think it was. So the transporters are staying packed. They've got all their toolboxes and everything. It's pretty much roll the car out, roll the car in, off you go. So they do have an amazing setup over there. The way they do things, I think, allows the drivers and the crews to do 36 weekends a year without too much burnout. But
do you know what? Anyway. Just on that though, before we move on, it also allows them not to have permanent structures there. You notice how Australia racetracks, we need permanent pit lane facilities and structures. They don't need that because of the way they operate out of their transporters and with their toolboxes, which then they sit on top as their pit bunkers and stuff.
Yep.
So they actually just need a piece of road.
Well, even Super 2 out here, we're in garages or marquees set up. Over there, they just have like 3x3 tents over the car.
Yeah.
Operate out the transporter.
That's what I mean. And like
Crazy.
They don't. So you could actually have tracks in a lot more places because you don't need that infrastructure.
Bring back Lakeside, you reckon?
Whatever you want.
Amaru Park, does that even still exist?
I don't know. So yeah, congrats to JR Motorsport.
Yep.
100 wins. Congrats to Connor Zillisch.
Scary thing is for their competitors to jump in here, mate. The next one they go to is Watkins Glen.
Connor's going to...
Guess who won there last time and got his first race win?
Who?
Connor Zillisch.
There you go.
So it is 4 possible in a row. I think it is. I think he's going to be favourite going there next weekend anyway. So
100%.
Be interesting to see. Like if he goes 4 on the trot, wild. And Dale Jr. actually said in his press conference, I think there's Hall of Fame. He actually said there's Hall of Fame potential for this kid.
Look,
That's massive.
I think those that have seen him up and close in the flesh, like obviously a team owner or a sponsor or a competitor, no doubt in my mind, because I've for a year following him, even back in when he was doing TA2 in America and stuff, I was like, I think this kid, like just watching on YouTube and stuff, I was like, I think this kid is actually the real deal.
Yeah, right.
And then so that's looking at it from afar on the other side of the world. So I've got no doubt anyone that's actually seen him up and close, he's obviously incredibly talented, and not surprised that someone like Junior is probably going to call that.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. You never know what happens when you get to the pinnacle and the pressure is amped up. But he's probably at a point where the pressure is about as big as it can get. The hype is there, you know, and the spotlight is on him, and he continues to deliver. But you do see some people reach the top and then end up in an environment that doesn't suit them and things don't come to fruition. You can easily, we see it doesn't matter what sport you're looking at, the NBA, often the guy who goes number 1 draft doesn't deliver when he gets to the NBA, and that could happen.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Probably less likely in this case because he does look like he's something special.
I think if you wanted that much, though, you'll eventually find yourself in the right team or car.
Yeah.
And then, as we know, that's half the battle, right? Getting in the right thing. So
I spoke to someone the other day who's a Red Bull athlete talking about Connor. Said like one thing they could consider doing is a couple of years in F2 and then into F1 and see if that would work. And he would still only be 22.
It's crazy.
It'd be cool, man. I would think if there was any sniff of that possibility, you have to take it.
He can come back in NASCAR at 23, 24 and go and win 7 championships if he wanted to, like if he was up to it.
Yeah.
Like he's still going to have an amazing career, and he's ticked that box or tried that F1 dream. You, anytime you get an opportunity to do something like that, you've got to take it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, to me, I totally agree with you.
Whether or not it comes up, who knows? It's one
you
of
heard
those
it here first in Apex Hunters, mate.
Yeah,
Connor Zillisch is going to F2 next year.
So anyway, that's XFINITY. Now, drivers getting penalties. Before we get into the results of Indianapolis, I wanted to address this because let us know in the comments as well, because a lot of fan bases for every sporting code is very well educated. One thing we're kind of puzzled about right now, and we watch a lot of NASCAR, we don't seem to see many penalties. In the last podcast, we actually said, do they even do driver penalties? Because some of the incidents, and we'll get into one that actually happened in the Cup Series with Seabell turning Zane Smith, but you don't really ever hear about an investigation into an incident. Like Formula One, it's constantly at the top of your screen, like incident involving car 1 and car 2 is under investigation, you know, and it's constantly evolving, whether it's a 5-second penalty or a 10-second penalty, drive-through penalties. But in Cup Series, Xfinity Series, we don't ever hear any. It's just like turned him. Well, he checked up, he braked early.
Yeah, or he'll get him at the next round.
Yeah. But like the one thing that gets me is with this, you know, when someone checks up and brakes a little bit early and they send him, they put him in the wall, it's like, oh, well, he checked up early. He still fucking wrecked him though.
Yeah.
Guy's still in the wall. Like, was there not a problem? Anyway, Austin Hill, where I'm getting to is Austin Hill absolutely wrecked Almirola. He got a massive penalty, mate. 5-lap penalty. I couldn't believe it. What did you think of his feedback when he got told over the radio that he had the penalty?
Well, he had a few words for NASCAR, didn't he? A little potty mouth on him, doesn't he, old Austin Hill?
Yeah, and I'm not an Austin Hill fan, by the way.
No, I'm not.
So
not his biggest fan. I did see a funny meme of someone put Bobby Hill.
Oh, yeah.
He actually looks like him
from
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill.
He actually looks like him too. Had him in his race suit and stuff. It was fucking pisser. So we should put that on like the video. But
I will.
He said over the radio, they can go fuck themselves. Fuck NASCAR. That's fucking bullshit.
Hunters, I just want to take a moment to thank one of our fantastic supporters, Shaw & Partners Financial Services. Shaw & Partners are a leading national investment advice and wealth management firm. They act for and on behalf of individuals, institutions, corporates, charities, and family offices. So, if you're looking for advice or assistance with investments or strategies, look no further than Shaw & Partners Financial Services. With a 35-year history and 8 offices strategically placed all over Australia, their financial advisors are within reach and ready to provide tailored solutions and advice. For more information, follow the link in the description of this podcast. Back to the show. He said on the radio when he turned Almirola. So at first, like when I first saw the incident, so Almirola got into his rear bar and like unsettled him. To be honest, if it wasn't for Austin Hill actually gathering it up, he would have been wrecked himself. But you could see he's got white gloves on a black steering wheel, and you can see his handwork where he's like, fuck, I'm trying to, and he's gathering this thing up. But then they calm down, his hands come back to center and then just go left hand down and just absolutely sends the poor bastard. But it's funny because he got on the radio and said, I was out of control. Like he sent me and I was just trying to gather it up and I sent him. But when I first saw it, I thought, fuck, the guy did deserve to get sent.
Yeah.
So I was like, how is that one a 5-lap penalty and not everything else we see in NASCAR? I don't really understand how. Like we see that stuff all the time in NASCAR and in Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and NASCAR don't seem to do anything about it. And yet this time, NASCAR comes down really hard on one of the Xfinity guys for something that, yes, it must be because he retaliated, but fuck, it wasn't that bad.
I saw Almirola's interview after he got cleared, and he said, like, to him, Hill had damage, was dicking around, they were getting close towards the end. He's like, he had to get into his, like, move him up the road because he'd given him plenty of opportunities. He was holding them up. It was go time, which is that's how they operate in NASCAR. You know, when you get towards that close stage, if you're dicking around and you're holding everyone up, you're going to get moved out of the way. So that's just textbook NASCAR stuff. So that's what he said, got into his bar and then obviously he just hooked him. So he wasn't wrapped with it. He did say it was laughable because Austin Hill stood up at one of the rounds and said he wants to be the poster boy and a spokesman about, you know, ethical racing and racing clean and stuff. And he actually said, well, this is now laughable after what he's just done then. So to me, yeah, he got into his rear bar, sent him up the road, but it was, to his point, he's like, well, it's fucking go time. Like, I've dicked around, sat behind you. It's long enough. We're nearing the end here.
I'm going to upset you here. I'm not on the same side of the fence as you.
And you know what, Scott? You don't have to be because you're wrong.
Hey, I might be, and I'll probably get lit up for it. But I know he's not popular, and I'm not a fan of the guy. Yeah. But I don't think what Austin Hill did, I think I would be like, fuck you, dude. Like, I'm entitled to hold my... You can block, right? We see it all the time. Cup Series, they block big. The blocks that were being thrown at that track were massive.
And he was doing that, but he got moved out of the way.
Yeah, but it was only that he luckily kept it out the fence. Had he been in the fence, are they going to penalise old mate? No.
Probably not.
Exactly, but why not?
Because he didn't hook him.
Yeah, but he put him in the fucking fence.
Catch it, mate.
Yeah, but... It's like, how can you bump and run? How can you fence, like push someone out of the way?
Well, that's where they don't have...
Not get a penalty.
They don't have our regular rules. So
but then when you go, nah, fuck you, Jack, I'm going to fence you. Or all it was, he just did a better job than Almirola did of unloading him. I know Almirola's just trying to walk him up the road.
But they have the hook rule, right? You're not allowed to hook them.
Yeah, I know, but fuck, mate. If you get moved out the road, you deserve to be sent. Like, if someone moved me out the road, I think I'm like, well, hang on a minute.
But that's...
Eat a dick, you're gone.
Yeah, but we obviously think different to how they think because that's like Kyle Busch tearing up about Shane doing a textbook pass anywhere else in the world.
True.
So clearly they have a different understanding or standard that they uphold or what they think.
It's just odd.
What they think is clean and what's not, right?
It's wild what's acceptable and what's not.
Yeah,
and I know the outcome was huge. Like, it was a massive crash. He could have hurt himself. It was wrong.
Yeah.
But he didn't start it. He just finished it.
Yeah.
And this is someone who doesn't like Austin Hill.
I'm going to buy you an Austin Hill shirt when we go.
Oh my! Okay.
I'm going to make you wear it.
Just give me a King of the Hill shirt. Anyway, we have found out now. Point is, after all of this, NASCAR do penalise drivers.
They do, apparently.
No idea when or why or how they're going to come to their conclusion, but 5 laps they will go from 0 to hero like that.
I wonder if he did the Murph and went to the pisser.
Yeah.
Murph got 5 minutes and he went for a slash.
Fuck, mate, 5 laps is wild. And also at the track that's like the longest of the year, 2.5 mile long. Could have done it last week when the track's half the length.
You may as well run the thing into the truck.
Yeah.
His day done.
That's it, mate. On to qualifying.
Cup qual.
You can take sway here, mate. It was a Toyota Cup, wasn't it?
It was a bit of a Toyota Cup. So we had Chase Briscoe on pole. I think that's his 4th pole for the year or 5th pole for the year. So he's been fast, obviously, for the Aussies out there. That's the car that James Small is crew chief on.
Yep. He's been quick. Hasn't he been quick for a long time?
Yes.
Those two are doing a great job. Well, not just those two in the team, but
Yeah.
James Small and Chase are doing a mega job right now.
And even when James had Martin Truex Jr., he had a lot of poles and wins and stuff as well. So
So it's all James Small, you're saying? It's the Aussie.
You heard it here first. Bubba Wallace second. So, another Toyota. Eric Jones in a Toyota third. Tyler Reddick in a Toyota fourth. Ty Gibbs in a Toyota fifth. And then we go to the first Chev, William Byron. Chris Buescher, the first Ford in position 7. Carson Hocevar in 8th. He's thereabouts again, isn't he? He's fast, Carson. AJ Allmendinger in 9th. Good job. That's a colleague car. Solid job by colleague to be this third Chev. Austin Cindric in position 10. Shane, P11.
Yeah, mega job.
Really good job. That's an oval for anyone out there that reckons Shane can't drive ovals.
It actually has 4 left-handers.
Yeah, there you go. So that was a good job by SVG there. Kyle Busch in 12, Kyle Larson 13th. So he's ahead of a couple of good punters there. Brad Kozlowski in 14th, Joey Logano, Christopher Bell in 16. That'll do for qual.
Well, actually, what surprised me there, not surprised me, but this made it funny because this in-season championship that's going on with the $1 million battle up for grabs.
Yeah.
I wonder if Austin Dillon has been up against, I mean, from day one, he was up against first and he was the first.
Ty Dillon, sorry.
Ty Dillon, sorry.
Yeah.
But Ty Dillon, so he was from day one up against P1, 32 versus 1, and he's been knocking them out as he goes, right? But it's against all odds. This weekend, he must have been like, oh, I'm in the perfect spot. I've qualified 26th.
Yeah.
Ty Gibbs is 5th. We're on here, baby.
Yeah. He's like, this is just how it rolls. We'll be right.
Yeah. I just thought that was hilarious. But, yeah, we will get to who actually won it. But Ty Dillon must have been actually thinking, oh, fuck me, I'm literally 20 spots behind the guy I need to beat for $1 million. Yeah. But qualifying, you left out your man. I can't believe you forgot him.
Denny.
Well, you didn't even mention that he crashed. You must have been devastated.
I was actually...
We got some DMs through our socials about this too.
I was rattled. So, if you did catch it on socials or you've seen it, Denny had a big one in qual. So
Were you worried about him?
No, I knew he's a strong man. Strong, handsome man. He'd be right.
He was on a heater too, I think.
Yeah, he would have been on it. He would have been pole. So Denny had to start the race last, 39th. So disappointing, but as you'll see in the race results, wasn't all bad.
Wasn't all bad.
Why don't you talk us through the race results, Scott?
Well, you burp. You look like
I'm burping away me reckless mid.
I can see the indigestion building. You're like, take it away, Scotty. You do the...
It's the Palmer coming back up.
We did go to the pub before this podcast. Now, Bubba Wallace got the win. Very emotional win for the guy as well. And if you haven't, check out his YouTube, actually. I feel like getting to know the guy through, and that's where the podcasts are good, YouTube content when created by the individuals, especially as raw as he's doing it, you actually get to see and make up your own opinion on someone. And I reckon his YouTube stuff's great. He's doing a lot with Scotty Mack and Shane, and he just seems like quite a good bastard. Like you watch, he's good fun.
I actually had someone, I think over the weekend, talk to me. We were just talking about it, and I said, "Oh, have you watched Bubba Wallace's stuff when they're doing the Legends with Shane and Scotty Mack and stuff?" And someone said, "Yeah, I've been watching it. It's really fun because they're like, it's funny seeing these 3 race car drivers. They're at the peak of their powers." Really good at what they do, and they're hanging out with like 12-year-olds and stuff.
Yeah, and getting beaten by 12-year-olds quite often.
Yeah, and like, but even, okay, there's some young kids there that are some big names and on the path, but there's also just some regular kids that are there racing, enjoying the sport.
Yeah.
And they're just hanging out, and they're just normal dudes, just seeing them as casual as you like. So if you want to see what Bubba, SVG, Scotty Mack are like, just what they're genuinely like, it's casual as, it's good viewing. And I just thought it was a good point, like seeing superstars just so relaxed is actually, it does take you on that journey.
So down to earth. I think that's the thing too, isn't it, right? Like you're up against the kids, but we were all there one day.
Yep.
And also those kids are probably aspiring to be a Cup Series driver or an IndyCar driver, maybe an F1 driver, whatever it might be. And they're getting the opportunity to race against these guys. And then I do love seeing them just, it's where they can obviously switch off. There's no pressure. Yeah. Except for their inter-team battle. They do have this thing I've seen where whoever's slowest has to buy lunch. But it is good fun, and I feel like, this is where drivers creating additional content's awesome, because this weekend I was invested in Bubba doing well. I'm watching the race, and I'm like edge of the seat going, fuck, I hope this guy wins, because I've seen his content. He just seems like quite a good bastard. I'm like, I would have a beer with the guy, and then I see his post-race interview where he's in tears and talks about what it meant to him, and talking about his mum and then his dad and like that for me, I lost my dad when I was young. And when he mentioned his dad, I was just like, I don't know. And that's where sport's great. Like it was good to see it mean so much to him. It's 100 days, 100 races since his last win.
He had to earn it too.
Mate, he did it against, so Kyle Larson's P2, haven't got through the order, but Larson, multiple restarts in overtime. He held off Kyle Larson, who is arguably one of the best of all time in Cup Series. So it adds credibility to that win. So not only is we've talked about Daytona a few times being pot luck at the end of the race. This wasn't that circumstance.
And on overtime too. So like restarts, he had to deal with that. They had a rain delay if you didn't catch it. So they had a little bit of a rain delay. So, yeah, they went racing again. So he had to fight off from a bit of overtime there. So definitely earned it. And even, like, during the day, at some points he was back in the pack at 11th and 12th. And, he was in the danger zone.
Oh, definitely.
Quite a bit. And he come through straight car, fast car.
But to qualify second, he had pace. There was no dramas. And on the restarts, you could see that.
Yeah, and look, I don't think all year, apart from maybe the odd road course, the 2311 cars between Bubba and Reddick are fast cars. They're just every bit as good as a JGR car.
Yeah.
So they've always got the speed. Bubba's been a little bit unlucky, I think, at times.
Yeah. You do. Again, I have to disagree sometimes. You'd have to make your own luck. And I think when we look at like his clash with Bowman at Chicago.
That's one instance, but I'm saying there's been...
No, but like he had a potential result there that I think there's been some times where he's had the... I get you're right. Over the 100 races it's taken him to win again. But there's just been some recently that would have helped momentum. Like this one feels like it probably meant more because the last few races, like I thought he was going to go to Sonoma and be really strong. Yeah. Struggled at Sonoma, which makes the pain of Chicago even worse.
Like the Pocono right front rotor exploding.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like he's had a little bit of shit.
That stuff's,
He's had a little bit of shit while he's been in good contention spots.
Yeah.
Go wrong. More often than some of the other drivers is all I'm getting at. So
yeah, prior to Chicago, you're right, 2311 was having some real dramas where they were talking potential setup because they were like way hotter than others with brake temps and having those failures.
Yeah.
You're right.
Denny Hamlin came third, so from last third. Super drive by my boy Denny. And he also had the fastest lap of the race. So you know what? Get on the number 11 train. Choo-choo. Ryan Preece, fourth for RFK. Teammate Brad Kay, also team owner, in fifth. RFK as well. Todd Gilliland in sixth. Ryan Blaney, best of the Penske cars again. He's another guy I'd love to have a cold one with. Christopher Bell in P8. Alex Bowman P9. Carson Hocevar in 10.
I was kind of hoping Hocevar would have a better race, qualified well. But for me, I think RFK, pretty impressive, fourth and fifth. I think that's a...
They've been the strongest Ford team for a while, a fair chunk of this season now. They've been super strong. The other thing with Bubba, it puts him in the playoffs because he was on that, again, I think there was some stat rolling on how many times he's been sort of 16th, 17th on that bubble, that cut line.
Yep.
Now that win. So, yeah.
He was also, and this is where just one thing that adds to the story. During the day, he was on target to win stage 2, which would have been 10 points was it 10 points and 1 to play off or something? But when you're on the bubble, you can go conservative, take your points, win the stage points and try and make it in on points. Or you pit like he did with 2 laps to go in the stage to get the race win.
Yeah, to go strategy. Yeah.
And I think that's what was really cool about the win as well, was they didn't just go point hunting. They literally went out there to try and win the race. When they had a car that was fast enough, they raced their strategy, raced the car like they were in it to win it. So when he got it done, I thought that was really cool to see because, I even made a note that the track allowed for some different strategies as well, being a longer track. We saw it the last one, the circuit being so short, didn't offer much opportunity for strategy. So I actually rated when someone decided not to take the stage win, but they could stay on the lead lap then and actually go on then later to try and win the race.
Do you know who I felt for?
Who'd you feel for?
William Byron on that last lap. That's how Denny got third because Denny was running fourth and William Byron ran out of fuel on that, like with the corner to go. Yeah. So he rolled across the line in 16th.
And I saw William Byron picked the bottom behind Bubba because there was talk that Bubba would only have 1 restart in him.
For fuel.
And if he ran out of fuel, then obviously Byron would have taken up the front row.
Yep.
Which is what happened when Larson last year was third
Yep.
Someone ran out of fuel. Can't remember who was on the pole. Ran out of fuel last and came through, and then actually ended up holding on to win the race. So it is a shame because Byron, just one more restart in him. It was the last lap, wasn't it? He ran out of fuel.
Yeah, it was like last corner.
I do like that about NASCAR though. You really don't know what's going to happen until they cross the line and finish the race.
And like the commentary team were saying, I don't think Bubba's got enough juice. So as a viewer watching, you're like, oh my God. You're waiting for it to cough. You're waiting to see a bubble or something because you really don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. So it absolutely adds to the excitement.
I hope you're enjoying this episode, but I do have to interrupt just quickly to thank our fantastic supporters that allow us to create the content for you. East Coast Car Rentals. If you're in the market for a rental car, think of those guys. And if you'd like a cheeky 15% discount, AHU15 is the discount code there for 15% off. If you're in the market to buy a car, not rent one, Lancaster Motor Group, we've got you covered for new or used cars. So think Lancaster Motor Group. Quadlock, fantastic supporter of our podcast as well. We use their products every single day on the pod using their desk mounts here. Also, we've used them to create the additional content like we did the Adelaide Motorsport Festival using their action camera mounts. So whether it's mounts, phone cases, they've got you covered. Quadlockcase.net. Now, the website for all of these brands that support us will be in the description of this podcast. Back to the show.
I'll get you a drink, mate. Catherine Ledge was out there again, and she actually ran 17th.
Was she?
Yeah. So
that's impressive.
I think I did see something that might have been like another, not a record, but one of the best position finishes there. So that was kudos to her.
Well, before we've kind of covered off, I guess, Bubba's win, but one of the things I put in here was actually all day, a couple of the Penske cars. Cindric first was quite fast, and then Blaney.
Right rears.
Very strange.
Few cars are having that. I know Reddick reported that late in the race, that he had a small vibration come from the right rear.
Right.
I'm not sure if Chase Briscoe had a similar drama, but there was a few cars, mate. Yeah, you're right. So Logano was leading, I think, at the time when he had one fail. Was he leading?
Blaney was leading. So was Cindric.
Logano had a right rear go too, right? Was he leading at that time though?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, okay.
I don't remember. I know that Cindric was leading. Blaney was leading.
Yeah. So they had pace, but obviously had dramas with whether it be setup related or what was causing that.
Hang on. No, sorry. I'm thinking Blaney over Logano. It was Logano, you're right. Yeah. He was leading and had the puncture, but I don't know. So Logano ended up finishing down in 32nd and out, but he actually picked up damage in the shunt at the end with Zane Smith, I think it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, the right rear was very strange, but both cars were in contention and leading the race at the time. Like, it couldn't have happened worse. I mean, the Penske curse right now is evil.
It's a real thing.
It is, and it makes no sense because they've been fast and it's just not.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's just not happening. It's not coming to fruition for them because, fuck, like, the gods are against you when both cars lead. It's not even like you're 10th and you go, oh, we had a rear right failure.
Yeah, when you're in a great spot, I mean,
it's happened in IndyCar a few times now.
Our boy Shane, SVG, he finished 19th.
Yeah, we did speak to him this morning. What did he say? He said just struggled with low downforce and drag and just had a tough day. Didn't have the speed really, no speed.
He was buzzing after qual though.
He was.
He said it was a fast joint, and he then laughed that IndyCars are actually 10 seconds a lap quicker.
Yeah.
And he still said it felt really fast. So that's kind of funny that it was they're 10 seconds faster.
I couldn't believe it. I actually went and fact-checked because I was like, there's no fucking way. Like, how does a NASCAR wind up and still be 10 seconds slower than an IndyCar? Yeah. It is wild how fast those IndyCars are on oval.
Yep.
But yeah, 10 seconds, but he was buzzing for sure. Might have peaked too early, some might say.
Well, I wouldn't, but you have.
Yeah, but that's because you sit on the fence.
Yeah, well, we've got to stay at his house soon. I want a bed, mate. You'll be on the couch.
Humpty Dumpty over here. Yeah, you're right. Don't upset him because we need a place to stay in a few weeks.
Yes. What else did you catch from the race, mate? I mean, we had the in-bracket challenge, so you briefly touched on that. Ty Gibbs came away with the win over Ty Dillon.
Yeah.
What else was noted?
Before we get to that, I just thought the Seabell wrecking Zane Smith.
Yep.
How the fuck does Zebel? How does Seabell go on to finish 8th without a penalty? And this is why I'm like, how is that a 5-lap penalty in Xfinity Series for wrecking someone when Seabell turns Zane Smith, puts him in the wall, takes out 1, 2, 3, 4 cars with him, and then goes on to finish 8th? And they go, well, he checked up. I don't understand.
Well,
I'm
no.
confused.
So, the comms team.
That one he didn't check up.
Yeah,
He misjudged the overlap.
Misjudged
It was
it, yeah.
bad. It wasn't like he checked up. He actually misjudged that one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But that's where it is. Yeah, it's hard to keep up with how they, penalise these things
Yeah.
or judge them, because that was just a clear, excuse my French, fuck up and a misjudgment, which happens, no dramas. But it put old mate in the fence and caused a bit of shit, and then nothing goes on about it. So. It is a little bit confusing sometimes.
And like, how is that not a 5-lap penalty? Because I know he didn't retaliate, but how do you know that's not a score he settled from last week? Like, you just don't know. Like, obviously, Austin Hills was really obvious that he retaliated because it was in the same moment.
He rubbed him up, and
That could have been a score he settled from weeks ago. You don't know. And that's just even worse. It's like fucking premeditated. I'm very confused. And then to go on to finish 8th, that's where I'm a little bit, I love this play on mentality, but I don't know how this shit works.
And it's like the Chastain wreck, which you popped in the notes too. Like, McDowell just got into the rear and said, "Oh, sorry, he checked up."
That was the one I had in my mind. Sorry, when I said checked up.
And it fucked Ross off into the fence hard.
Yeah.
It's like you're entitled to go as fast or slow as you want into a corner. If someone runs up the back of you on the freeway, it's your insurance if you run the back something that you have to pay for. So it's a bit like, he might have checked up, but you're entitled to go as fast or slow as you want into a corner.
Yeah.
You can't just ram someone.
He might have felt the need to brake early that lap. You can't just fence him.
Yeah. So, but it is.
That's definitely stuff that's a little
It's confusing sometimes.
confusing. And then to go from 0 to a 5-lap penalty. I feel like maybe Austin Hill owed money to someone.
That's why I just feel like it's just the hook thing. If you hook them, they're going to penalise you.
But didn't Sebo hook him?
Well, no, it was a misjudgment. He didn't actually hook him.
He went left.
Yeah, he wiped him, but he wasn't like, there's a wipe, not a hook.
He wiped him, not hooked.
See, I should work for NASCAR. That's the difference. There's a wipe and a hook, mate. He wiped him, not hooked him.
I don't even know what that means.
So, yeah.
The only other thing really that I had was, the hits in NASCAR are massive. When Jones had the front right wheel come off,
Especially on the
the
next
hit
gen.
on the onboard is huge. I know they got the tech safe barriers, but fuck, man, like I've had side-on impacts in a supercar and they hurt a lot more than head-on, and that the onboard on that was
Actually,
pretty harsh.
on the tech safe barriers, there's good. If you don't know how they work, go back and watch Denny Hamlin's shunt from qualifying, because they do the slow-mo, and you can actually see the safer barriers flexing and how they work, because he hits the one
Right.
on the outside, on his right side, and then he spins around to the inside and hits the other one. And even the inside had a tech
You can see it absorb.
You can actually see how it works in the slow-mo. It's quite cool. So if you don't know how they actually function,
I'll overlay it in our YouTube.
it's worth a gander.
There you go. And aero wash in next gen is quite bad.
Funny you mention this, because I know categories over this side of the world, if a commentator like badmouthed a car, like they wouldn't be coming back the next day. And it's interesting that NASCAR aren't against, like Dale Jr.'s example was going, he said this just proves how bad the next gen car is with aero wash, and like, which is great that they're open to say the truth and that they don't get muzzled for that. But it's just interesting that they are allowed to say things like, this car's no good like that, and this is the problem with this next gen car. So that's actually, it's just one thing I picked up on a couple of times. They mentioned it through the race today. I'm like, wow, I'm surprised the producer hasn't, or NASCAR haven't run down the producers and been like, hey, tell him to shut up.
Let him speak freely.
Let him, which is great, because as a fan, you go, okay, well, obviously that's a problem.
Yeah.
And you get the understanding, they talk why it's a problem. So that was just one thing I picked up on. I thought that was, I think, a good thing that NASCAR allow them to speak freely.
Yeah, right. It is a good thing. I think they should endorse it more out here. You're right, because you kind of only ever get them toeing the line, even if like the Dunlop, if Dunlop have a tyre fouling issue or something, you don't ever hear a commentator criticise.
That's a team's fault because of pressure.
Yeah, it's never a supplier of the category's fault. So, and not to target Dunlop, but that's as an example, you're right. Like that's the stuff they try and protect, which I understand, but also the viewer isn't stupid.
Yeah,
and even sorry, go on, man.
No, so I was just on like you said with the Dunlop thing. Like you'll quite often hear Denny talk about Goodyear on his podcast.
Yep.
And same thing, he's quite open. Like if the tyre's not up to spec or it's not good enough or they need to improve it to improve the racing, it's like they're open for the experts to suggest things, about how they can make the show better. Whether they take it on, I don't know. But it's just, it is interesting.
Yeah, because like if you don't verbalise something, how do you even know it's an issue? And we're not silly watching Xfinity Series now in Cup. you can see, like I loved Zillich's move to get the lead back. No contact was made, right? But because there's no aero wash, he could get right on the rear corner of him, took away the aero of the car in front, moved him wide up the track, took the position. No contact required. But then you watch the Cup Series, and at the moment, they'll get a run on someone, follow him in the corner, lose all front downforce, run up high, and they can't complete a pass. So the only way they're doing it at the moment is actually drill someone and move them wide. But I've enjoyed watching the Xfinity Series when some of the guys are amazing at it. Like the good guys can actually get close to the rear quarter and take away the aero,
Just move 'em a bit,
loosen the rear of the car in front, and get the pass done. But yeah, I think next gen, we ran into this issue not in Gen 3 of supercars, but actually at the end of Car of the Future.
Yeah.
The problem we had, and Scafey told me this once actually, it used to be that the fastest car would get clipped, its wings would get clipped, right? You'd bring it back to the rest. Whereas we ran into the problem in Car of the Future, there'd be a fast car, so everyone else would get a leg up. And then eventually you end up doing 203s at Bathurst instead of everyone doing 205s.
Yeah.
And at 203, you can't follow because you're going too fast. Too much downforce is required to do a 203. So we should have been, like what we should have been doing at the end of Car of the Future was actually clipping the fastest cars back so that the guys that struggled were more even, but instead we went too far the other way because to do a 203, it's requiring too much downforce. And I think at the moment, the way the cars in Cup Series generate the downforce it's not conducive to close racing.
Yeah, and exactly to your point, which is exactly what the guys are talking about in NASCAR, just drop the downforce, increase the horsepower. So like to your argument at Bathurst, the only way they were going to do that without giving more horsepower was across the top of the mountain or downforce, right?
Yep.
So they should have been like, oh, well, let's just give everyone another 50 horsepower, 100, whatever it is. So, and that's the path it sounds like NASCAR are going to go down next year.
Yeah, right. That would be good.
So I think I heard they were talking about they'll go to 750 horsepower from, what are they now, like 600, 650 I think they are at the moment, something like that. So I could be wrong, but I think I heard that. So yeah, which is a smart way of doing it because otherwise, the only way you're going to go, if you want to make them still a spectacle, drop the downforce, increase mechanical grip, increase horsepower.
Yeah. Well, and it is interesting because back here in Australia, Bathurst, we could definitely do the same. Imagine doing 305 Ks an hour, but only doing a 207, 206. And the show would be no worse, but the racing across the top, we would be nose to tail, following across the top and then drafting down the straight.
And you know what, like as an example, let's say the cars are doing 310, chances are they might have to lift through the chase too, which makes the braking zone longer, which means more passing gets done as well.
The chase now is one arm, cruising through, flat, no dramas, and 150 metres of brake.
Yeah, even in the Trans Am car at 270 through there, it's
easy flat
all the way to the 150 or whatever it is. So
it is interesting because Formula One, we've just finished a pod for that one, but Formula One's running the same problem, I think, where the cars are so fast, we're so caught up on the technology and trying to be the fastest category in the world that the racing quality has become worse than it could be. Like you take away, look at IndyCar. We'll get into that now and recap Laguna Seca in a moment, but IndyCar's slower, but it's a much more exciting form of racing to watch. GP2, a lot slower, but the racing's always exciting. Formula One on TV, it's like undulation. You don't get the perspective, you don't get the appreciation for it. You can't see the speed they're doing when a camera's following them in person for sure.
Yeah.
But on TV, if the cars were 5 seconds a lap slower, I wouldn't know. I can barely tell the difference between a qualifying lap and a race lap, and they're 5 seconds a lap slower.
F1 is in an interesting spot because, exactly like you said, on TV, you don't appreciate the speed, and then when you watch them at the track, they're too fast. You can't actually see them.
Yeah.
Like you don't get enough time to actually see them. So when you are live,
they're so fast.
They're past you, and you're like, oh.
It's actually more like.
Wow, wow, wow.
That's still too loud.
Right.
Well, they're like
electric.
They're like vacuum cleaners now.
Formula E. I know they are.
I know what you mean though. Yeah.
Like when I go out to Melbourne GP, I try and stand in a spot and you still don't get enough to see. Actually, was that Carlos or was that him? It's hard to actually tell. So,
well, here's a question though. With digressing a bit to F1, say, what do you appreciate or not appreciate more? So, do you appreciate the speed on TV more, or do you get more frustrated that there's 3 seconds between every car on track? I would much rather have less speed on TV, but have every car nose to tail racing each other.
Dude, some of the best races you'll watch on TV or YouTube are like grassroots racing, like Formula Ford or Formula V, where they're doing 160k an hour.
Yeah, drafting.
You know,
Right, and that's the thing.
because there's 10 cars nose to tail on the gearbox, like
Yeah.
drafting, battling, passing. So
Yeah, cars need less downforce, less dirty air behind them, smaller wheelbase. The wheelbase is ridiculous on them. But anyway, that's what Cup Series I think is running into the trouble of at the moment when you look at Talladega. Look at Indianapolis. Sorry.
my argument for any time this sort of stuff comes up is I've never seen a fan at a track sitting there with a stopwatch.
Yeah.
They're in their deck chair. They want them to be loud. They want them to be entertaining. They want them to shoot flames.
Yep.
And the racing to be close, is my opinion. It's entertainment.
When you start talking lap records, the fan on the hill doesn't know they've gone a half a second lap faster.
Watching a car on track do a 1 minute 20 or a 1 minute 18 and a half, you would have no idea standing on whatever corner you're sitting at.
Yeah. On a side note, imagine how many cars would get turned for braking if they had more horsepower in Cup Series. Oh, he checked up. I sent him.
Wow.
Up the horsepower, decreased downforce. They'd be like, well, he braked early. So I sent him. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but how entertaining would that be for us? We're not driving them.
It would be. It would still be frustrating because I don't know how they officiate it.
Oh, well, they don't need to. We just know unless you hook them, you're good.
The whole chat for that started with Kyle Busch in an interview saying next gen at the moment, kind of the vibe I get from him is like when Shane was being negative on Gen 3 and supercars, he was like, it's an engineer's car. We all talk about Gen 3 as an engineer's car, and I believe it is.
Right.
But I kind of got that vibe from Kyle Busch. That's what he was saying about this, because he said if you're not in a Gibbs, Hendricks, or 2311, pretty much got no shot. And he's kind of not wrong at the moment.
Penske go all right. I mean, they're not at the moment because they got the curse, but they...
Penske all right, not at the moment, but yeah, I mean, you're right. They're on the big super speedways. They're very
Like the last
Daytona.
last three championships, they've won, Penske.
Yeah, come
At
Phoenix.
Phoenix is like their go-to track.
Yeah, okay, well, add them in too then.
I just did.
But it is a bit of an engineer's car at the moment, which is one frustration. The aero wash as a fan was a little bit frustrating on the weekend, but I still thought it was a great race. Yeah. I didn't think it was a lot better than F1.
And was today their fourth rain delay race in a row or something?
It might have been actually, and F1 was rain delayed too. Like, I don't know, globally we got issues.
Yeah, global warming. Don't start that conversation.
What the heck is a quad lock?
Watch this to find out. Whether you're in the car, on the bike, on the water, in the air, your phone is an important tool. Keep it secure with Quad Lock.
Standings, mate. Let's go into that.
So in the regular season or the playoffs? Let's go regular first, eh?
Yeah, I think regulars. I always love the regular season point system.
So
the playoffs is exciting, but it's good to do the regular.
So Hendrick's top three, mate, in the regular season standings. That sort of goes to what you're saying about Kyle Busch saying about it's a team or engineer's car, because if you look at the regular season standings, the top three are Hendricks, and then fourth and fifth are Joe Gibbs Racing, and six is a 2311. So the three teams that Kyle Busch mentions are the top six in the regular season standings. So he's probably not, there's a little bit of merit to that.
He did seem frustrated in the interview as well, which I always think when someone's frustrated, you got to take everything they say with a grain of salt, because the question was kind of posed to him about being in your 40s. Like, I think he said he hasn't won a race past 40.
Yeah.
And then that was when he kind of criticized the category. But I agree in a way, because I think Gen 3 is relatable for all of us in Australia. Like that, I was just like, it sort of seems familiar, and that's why I brought that up.
Yeah, and just for further scope on it, the top nine.
Reckless Brewing is really getting you tonight.
Palmer. The top nine, there's only one car in there that's not in a team that he mentioned, which is Penske, which probably should have been in that argument anyway because they've won the last 3 out of 4 championships or whatever. So he's not wrong. But the regular season standings, guys, we've got Chase Elliott at the top on 726 points. William Byron in second and 722. Kyle Larson in third, 711 points. Denny Hamlin, the best of the Toyotas, in fourth on 706 points. Christopher Bell in fifth on 664. Tyler Reddick in sixth on 655. Ryan Blaney, as I mentioned, for Penske in 616 points in position 7. Chase Briscoe, position 8. Alex Bowman, P9. Chris Buescher, P10. And Bubba Wallace is P11. He's jumped up 2 with his win.
cool thing here is Bubba Wallace is 176 points back from the lead, but has now snuck himself into the playoffs anyway with his race win. But this is where I'm still a fan of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think it works, and I say that because with Kyle Busch's statement about the teams you need to be with to be competitive, okay, great. You run a regular season championship, more often than not, you're just going to see the same winners.
Yeah.
And every champion, I say that, but Penske's won the last 3. But you should get a few left of field people in there, like a Shane.
Yeah.
Like Shane could not get lucky, but I mean he qualified 11th this event. He could have a couple of good ovals. I mean, if he does well at Watkins and a few other tracks, like he could make top 4 here and be a wild card. And I don't know, I think that's exciting. Whereas with the regular season, you're going to see the same players every season. And it's great if you're in the best car.
Yeah.
But if you're not, and we're trying to create championships like qualifying, like we have talked about this a lot, where motorsport's one of the only sports where we qualify and you put the fast guys at the front, slow ones at the rear, and then wonder why there's no overtaking. The playoff and championship formats like this are to try and give people a chance that might not have the budget to have a good day, score a win, make it in the finals, have a little bit of luck go their way. And it's kind of like a cost cap in Formula One. It's like, yes, you're kind of helping people that probably wouldn't be there in a regular season, but it's exciting. It keeps the fans engaged, and that then creates a healthy sport. And that's what we all need, because how do you get paid? How do you bring sponsors to the sport if no one's fucking watching it? So that's why I reckon the playoff's important. A couple of the old school guys, of course, like Richard Petty and that, aren't going to like it. But unfortunately, in today's day and age, with how competitive it is between every sport globally, you need shit like this to have people like you and I sitting here talking about it, not knowing who's going to win the championship. Because usually, like supercars this year, Brock Feeney would nearly have the championship wrapped up. And
to be honest, like when you look at the playoffs and the points, the only outlier there that, the people that are against it would say is there that shouldn't be, or is
You're
Shane.
being careful, Sid, and upset Shane.
No, I'm just saying, like, Shane's the only person in the top 10 I can see in the playoffs that you might not think should be there. If you're a regular Joe NASCAR person, like you got Denny Hamlin leading.
Cindric shouldn't be there.
Is he in the top 10?
He's 12th in playoffs.
I said the top 10.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so you got Denny.
I'm selective when you speak.
Yeah, I've noticed. Switch on, mate. Well, those fucking headphones work. We got Denny Hamlin in position 1, Kyle Larson position 2, Christopher Bell P3, Shane in 4th, Chase Elliott 5th, William Byron 6th, Ryan Blaney 7th, Chase Briscoe 8th, Bubba Wallace 9th after his win, and Joey Logano. Like all of those.
Why are you stopping at 10 though? Because 16, you don't need to go P10 or whatever, but Logano's 10, but 16 are through the first round. So at the moment, Chris Buescher is on the bubble. 62 in 42 points off the back of Berry in 13th. So Berry must have had a win, did he?
He must have. He's got the checkered flag.
So that's why the points. So like you can make it in on points, which is where Bubba was on the bubble.
Yeah.
But you got Buescher in 16th and Ryan Preece in 17th. They're both on 42 points. One of those guys, and we heard Ryan Preece in the post-race today at Indianapolis going, I need a win. Like I've got to win the next race
Teammates
to make it in. Are they actually?
Yep, RFK boys.
There you go, both in forwards. But this 16, so at the moment, in the top 16, they reached the first round of the playoffs. The final 3 spots in that at the moment are there on points. And the one that surprises me is Tyler Reddick in 14th. He's 138 points inside the cut line, so he should be fine. But, well, he will be fine. But if, for whatever reason, some random winners that pop up, those guys are at risk, so they need to win a race. But this is what I like about it, because
Reddick hasn't won a race yet this year.
That's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah,
I know, especially because in the regular season, he's a long way ahead. So Reddick's actually, in the regular season, 6th in the championship.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And Bubba Wallace, and this is why I was saying, like, don't stop at 10th, because I think it gets more and more interesting. Bubba Wallace is down in P11 in the regular championship, and he's well ahead of him in the playoffs now. So there's guys that you would expect. Yeah, and that's why I say Cindric is someone, that's why I didn't hear you stop to 10, but Cindric's someone for me that I feel like probably shouldn't be there ahead of someone like Tyler Reddick, but he is. But no one talks about it because Cindric's won on ovals.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hang on a minute. I feel like in the current day and age, Shane deserves his spot in the playoffs much more than Cindric.
No, I totally agree with
You
that.
know, and that's what's odd. But so P11 at the moment is Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric 12, Josh Berry, Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, Chris Bush is 16th. Now Ryan Preece and Kyle Busch are P17 and 18. I think Busch is too far out. He's 81 points outside the cut line, and Preece is 42
The
points.
thing for Bush too, man, he's in an RCR and they haven't got the cars. Like Richard Childress even came out and said, we need some race cars.
Yeah. I like that too.
When a team owner's saying that, and props for him saying that, I mean, he's a racer. He knows what the score is. Like,
Because I've seen what our drivers can do.
yeah, so good on. That's bloody rare in a team owner to admit that, isn't it? When their chips are down, like, well, for us it is over this side of the world. So usually the drivers just shit.
Well, I mean, we have a lot of Australian listeners, but that was one of the big gripes with us at Team 18, is a team owner not acknowledging that, like, hey, we're actually doing all right here with what we've got, or going like, if we're expected to win, go, fuck, we don't have the tools. You know, like Frosty won a championship, and that was one of our frustrations. You'd have a guy walk into our debrief and go, right, what do we need to do to win? You know, this isn't good enough. And I'm like, well, fuck, for a start, we have 2 engineers. We don't have a data engineer. We have 12 staff full-time, and we're raising as T8 with 75 staff. It's quite a lot, actually, that we need. But you can also just go, we're doing a very good job. But that is where, like, when Childress got on the radio, as a driver, that actually means a lot. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're Bush or...
Support is everything.
It's
if
everything.
you feel like everyone's got your back, or the team owner, or whatever it is, your crew, you'll drive well. As soon as you feel they're doubting you, you may as well pack up and go home.
100%. Yeah. You're in it, and you're in it together too. You go, okay, fuck, he gets it. He understands the pain I'm going through.
Yep.
I don't need to get frustrated. You go, he understands. But it was cool, yeah, to hear him speak out. In-season challenge, I got the win, mate.
You did. Congratulations, sir. Well done.
Thank you. You picked Ty Dillon. You just love an underdog.
It was a hard-fought battle. If I was a smart man, I probably would have picked Gibbs too, going that he's in a much better car, and the odds are he probably would.
But a smart man would have picked Hemlin as well in round 1.
True. So there you go. I made it a lot further than I should have. Congrats to both of them. Gibbs offered up 10 grand to Ty Dillon to a charity of his choice.
Tight ass.
Good on him. You probably should give him 100 grand, but anyway, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's better than nothing. I'm sure he'll take it. But yeah, I really like the in-season bracket challenge, mate. I know we've talked about it. I think it was a great idea. I really liked Call League. I don't know if you saw their social media where they had a letter to the winner.
No, I haven't seen
And it
that.
had everyone that Ty Dillon beat in the bracket crossed out, and then it had Ty Gibbs in handwriting. Congratulations. We look forward to going again next year.
Oh, really?
Thanks, NASCAR. Like, it was actually a really cool social media post. So we'll pop
like that, yeah.
We'll pop that in. So that they were good sports in the fact that they didn't win the million, even though a small team like that probably really needed that versus a Gibbs. But yeah, I thought it was super entertaining. I've got no doubt we saw some good battles and some people get moved and stuff because of this.
Well, Bowman and Dillon, and that's the thing. Dillon just didn't always get lucky. I think he escorted Bowman at the last corner at Sonoma.
He pushed himself into that next round, that was really cool. So I thought it was props to NASCAR, props to TNT. I thought it was cool. I look forward to it next year.
I don't think it would work here in Australia at the moment with supercars but what it does do, it kind of goes, okay, like what could we do?
Other options, what's out there? What can we think of? What can we come up with?
Yeah, let's workshop some shit, because what they did there was, I think it was really cool. Like, it's probably been one of my favourite things about the Cup Series at the moment. I felt like as a fan, you tuned in to see how that was a separate, because the championship we don't know for a little while. So right now, I guess that's why they put it at this point in the championship, because this is the bit where not a lot's happening. And we see it in supercars at the moment. There's a little period in the championship where you're waiting for the sprint challenge to finish, but the positions are kind of settled because everyone's field spread's there. So yeah, putting some money up for grabs for, I guess the format needs some work out here, but I think what NASCAR did was pretty innovative. I know that they got the concept from the NBA, I believe.
Okay.
But that as well shows this, it doesn't need to be an original idea. And that's, supercars, look at what NASCAR did. What can we do here? That there'll be a sponsor that would love to be a part of this. Put some money up for grabs. It gives TV time, and like we're out here on the other side of the world talking about Ty Dillon, who qualified 26th on the weekend and got plenty of TV time, was one of the topics of conversation all race.
Yep.
It's brilliant. They absolutely nailed, I think, the objective of it. And in doing so, they also helped a team that needed some publicity.
And I'm sure it would have grown their sport in viewers and numbers. Like as you say,
I agree.
Like we're talking about it now, so this may have even put some people that weren't watching NASCAR and watch a couple of rounds. So it would be interesting to see what that growth was or what the difference was, because I think it would have really done some positive change.
We even talked about now we're like, okay, look, well, we want to do a footy type tipping competition. And now that, like, I wasn't aware of the in-season challenge until Denny Hamlin. This is where podcasts are actually really good, and people can't underestimate the power of a pod. I only learnt about the in-season challenge through Denny Hamlin's pod, and it wasn't through a NASCAR pod or anything. It was nothing NASCAR put out. So, yeah, endorse and help the pods where they can, supercars. But, yeah, I thought it was really cool, and it's inspired us now to think, okay, next year, what can we do with our members or our YouTube subscribers that is engaging and fun that we can all be involved in, whether it's a footy tipping competition or something like this, whether it's an in-season championship.
It won't be footy tipping, but it might be car tipping or something.
No, but still the concept of footy tipping, I guess that's what they've done with NBA, hasn't it? But
and that's essentially what that was, really.
It is, yeah.
It's just
pick your winner.
It's a tipping thing, but they put them against, like, it's a V versus bloody 1v2, pick your thing. And
Motorsport's been a bit backwards for a long time too. Like, as fans, it's like we haven't been engaged in any other way other than just enjoy. Like, you either enjoy the sport or you don't really watch it. You know what I mean? Whereas this means you tune in every week to find out who won the battle. Yeah, and then you get to the end of the season, you see who the champion is. And
you might have a little bit of skin in the game, you might have a $5 on it, and then at the end of the season you might be able to win a couple of bucks or something, and it's all good.
Yeah, I reckon, well, next year we'll definitely do an in-season championship battle between you and I. I'll put a $5 on it.
Yeah, I'll put $4 on it.
You just pick Denny straight away from the start.
Yep. Well, he re-signed another 2 years too, so my boy's not going anywhere.
Announcement.
IndyCar. Talk to me, Scotty.
Dixon, 19th to 5th. I think I'm actually getting a man crush on this guy. I feel like Dixon is Hamlin to you for me.
I think he's always been there.
He's an absolute rock star. And I know, like, it's obviously, to be honest, in IndyCar, he's probably the GOAT.
Jeez, you've backed him late.
He's probably the GOAT.
You backed him late.
No, but I've always loved him. But I think that at the moment when we're looking at Alex Palou, and he gets so much publicity right now because he's dominating. He's won 8 from the last 14 races. And we're talking about obviously how good he is. But some of the times during the races, we watch Dixon come up and he just constantly is there. And at I think he's 44, or maybe it's Denny I'm thinking actually. But, 22 seasons, whatever it might be in IndyCar, and the guy's always there. So I think he was a standout for me at Laguna Seca. But to be honest, Alex Palou is in a league of his own. He led 84 of the 95 laps, only really lost the lead of the race through some pit stop sequences and a safety car. Other than that, I mean, mate, he only won the race. I think it's like 3.7 seconds he won by, but he was 5-6 seconds the whole race ahead of the field. At one point at the start of the race, he did start on the soft tyre, but he was over a second lap quicker than Colton Herter on the hard tyre. I know it's a little bit slower, but he just did not look threatened at any point. I mean, the guy's he's actually a freak at the moment.
He's won more than half the races for the season.
Yeah.
He's won, it's his 8th out of 14.
Yeah.
That's an amazing season, isn't it?
Well, they're heading to a track as well. I made a note. The next round they go to for the IndyCar Championship is at Portland. Palou won there in 21 and 23. So he didn't win there last year, but the chances are the bloke, he's on a running streak at the moment. He may end up going back to Portland and winning there again. So for the competition, I think it's 121 points, the lead in the championship. He is somehow finding another level every weekend and gap in the field. So, poled qualifying, won the race, and wasn't really challenged. I thought it was very cool to see Christian Lundgaard finish up second in the race. And then Colton Herter qualified third. Pato O'Ward was second, but Colton Herter, I thought he had a good race, made a mega start, got into P2, and he was probably the nearest all day to Alex. But, Pato O'Ward, I think he'll be a little bit disappointed. Anytime you go backwards in a race, you're always gutted, aren't you? You qualify second and then you finish up fourth. It hasn't gone to plan, especially off the back of the win in Toronto.
As you said, mate, Scotty Dixon, 19th to 5th. Even Callum Ilott, 24th to 6th. That's a big drive.
Callum Ilott is someone that surprised me in the championship isn't as high as I would have thought. But Prema, new team. So we will see them come to fruition in the future. But, it is good when you see it. Callum come through the field. It shows the potential's there, but...
and Prema globally have been, very good in everything they've competed in.
Yeah. I was very fortunate to actually test for Prema in British Formula 3.
Did you?
My last ever day was at Ricardo Tormo in Spain. I think that's what it was. It was Ricardo Tormo. I stayed in the shittiest hotel I've ever stayed in, by the way. It was near the track, which usually ends up being quite rubbish. But I tested for Prema, and that was a bit of a pinch yourself moment because Prema is, like you say, it's one of the most. It's kind of like Carlin in Europe. Like they are. There's teams that you know. There are actually teams that have affiliations or relationships with F1 teams, and Prema's one of those. They are one of the best.
They're like the 888 of junior formulas. It's crazy.
So it was very cool to drive the red and white F3 car, but it is cool to see what they're doing in IndyCar. They were very competitive at the Indianapolis 500, and this year has been a little bit inconsistent for them, but I think they will get there. Scotty Mack, I saw an interview with him. He said he rolled out of the truck and the thing was just pee nowhere. Made some changes through practice, but qualified 13th, finished up 10th, and then Will Power qualified 5th, finished 7th. But Newgarden, he actually qualified 4th, but Newgarden and Power were kind of together all day, I thought. I was surprised they finished where they did. Newgarden 11th and Power 7th. Scotty Mack finished 10th, up 3 places, but again, not really a standout for Penske. When you put Penske on the pedestal that they're on, a P10 or a top result of P7 when really nothing went wrong, they're coming home to a pretty tough conversation, I would say.
Yeah.
They are getting stomped at the moment by Ganassi, Andretti, teams that, Penske, I drove for Penske at one point. I know their standard. You're not coming home P7 and having a good conversation with anyone in the workshop. Like, that's tough day.
Yeah. Yeah, off the podium, I'd imagine, is a pretty average day for an organisation like that.
Yeah, and then maybe with the NASCAR dramas too, with the right rears. Like, it's difficult to, look at one category on its own and not bring them all in together. You'd be like, fuck, NASCAR was a disaster. IndyCar's just, we're not.
You'd be like, what is going on, guys? Yeah.
Yeah, you start to look at everything when you're stressed, the best thing you can do is decompartmentalize the problem and go, okay, let's just pick one thing, focus on that at the moment. You'd be looking at this going, the fuck is going on, guys? Like, everything is...
IndyCar's rooted, NASCAR's rooted. How'd they go at WEC? Were they all right at IMSA or WEC?
I didn't see that. I don't know. But it would be hard, wouldn't it, to just isolate one thing and try and improve on it? Because it is a very... The team works together really well across all of its disciplines. So they would definitely be talking to each other and being like, fuck, there'd be someone at the top of motorsport, the head of motorsport there going, what do we need to change here? And
because their speed hasn't, as we touched on last time, their speed hasn't gone, but their luck has definitely gone.
There's no luck.
Sometimes, unfortunately, you just get on rolls where it just doesn't, nothing's changed, but all of a sudden it's not even when you get on a good roll, you're like, I haven't changed anything. I'm just having an amazing purple patch.
Yeah.
And then it can go against you as well, where you work harder and you think you're doing everything right, and then just nothing goes right, everything goes wrong, and so it's a strange one. But just on Palou, mate, you've put some pretty cool stats in there. Only 3 drivers in the sport's history, so AJ Foyt, Al Unser, and Mario Andretti have won more races in a single year.
Yeah, and big names as well. It is wild. He's starting to get into I think he's 6 seasons now. He's won. He's been in the championship. This will be, if he wins this will be his 4th championship win, and he's already hitting GOAT status. He's starting to mix with those guys.
A stat you've put here, which is unbelievable, is 4th championship could come before he racks up 100 starts in IndyCar.
Yeah,
that is to me, that is a wild stat.
Yeah, I know.
That's probably the most impressive one. If that comes off,
yeah,
holy, that's...
Well, how many championships do people do before they, how many championships around the world does it take a driver more than 100 races to win their first? That happens a lot. You reach the pinnacle. You go through junior formulas, you win in everything you race, you hit the pinnacle of whatever sport you're in, and it's harder. It takes time to win. To not even be at 100 races and potentially win your 4th championship. When I heard that on the broadcast, I just was like, it was one of the first notes I made because they were just talking about him and saying how dominant he's been. That puts in perspective. It puts him a championship ahead relative to Tom Brady in the NFL. He'd be at one championship for the seasons he's been involved in ahead of Brady. Yeah. And, you talk about greatest of all time, and unfortunately, motorsport, we don't make the charts.
No.
But, yeah, he's on a run right now that – and it's funny because we go back to Will Power when he was on our podcast early. Scott McLaughlin said the same. So to win the championship, probably going to have to beat Palou. The consistency was what was winning the championships for him in the past, but right now he's just winning the races as well. So he's found the speed and he's got the consistency as well.
And I think we touched on it off air, mate. Love to see, like, there's talk that Colton Herta might go to Cadillac Formula One.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Love to see what he could do. Love to see what Palou can do in Formula One. Because, as you say, he's racking up these stats. He's beating these other incredible drivers. Obviously, a real talent.
Yeah. He had teammates in karts, I believe, that were in I think it might have been Carlos Sainz or Charles Leclerc in go-karting. So they are aware of him, and it is, to get to Formula One is such a hard thing to achieve. And that's why I've said before, like, my favourite sport is Formula One, but I'm under no illusion that the best drivers
necessarily aren't
necessarily in Formula One.
I mean, Denny Hamlin's at NASCAR.
Yeah, goddamn. Yeah, exactly. Can't believe he said he's hot as fuck. It's so weird. We're definitely not getting an interview with him when we go to American now. He's so afraid of you. But yeah, it's IndyCar, and that's one thing that's impressive with Scott Dixon, with Will Power, the guys that have been in the championship for so long too. They're now racing against kids that were F1 prospects. I think Colton Herta could go into F1 and do a good job at Cadillac. Alex Palou for sure could go in there with the right, with the right education, whether it be sim work or time in the seat. And do a good job. But to be a guy like a Will Power, and it really annoys me that he hasn't had a contract renewal thrown at him yet, because they're looking at Malukas, and there will be a day in IndyCar where Will Power's not a Penske driver, and whether that means he's retired or he hasn't been able to be renewed. But right now, I mean, even as of the last weekend, is the top scoring Penske car against the likes of Scott McLaughlin, who has had a contract renewal thrown at him this year. He's doing an amazing job, but Will is doing just as well. And to be able to repeat over 20 seasons, back up every year and be consistent against these young guys, and a lot of them now are people that didn't make Formula One that are coming over to IndyCar, because it kind of seems like it's where they're landing now, doesn't it? Yeah,
it's definitely the wayward home for those that didn't make Formula One.
I do have a question here, though. IndyCar, the onboard, the tracks they go to is one thing. They're real. They are genuine hard racetracks. Bumpy. You drop a wheel off, you're not on AstroTurf or tarmac. You're actually in the gravel.
Well, Laguna Seca was a prime example, wasn't it? The corkscrew. You got the dust getting dragged on the track, undulation, bumps.
Yeah. Yep. But my question is, do we think that the quality of drivers in the midfield, are they? Well, the thing at Laguna Seca that surprised me was how many incidents we saw that were driver errors. Whether it was like, dropping a wheel off, spinning, bottoming out on exit curbs, misjudging someone checking up like we see in NASCAR. They check up under brakes, misjudging. Kyle Kirkwood was a perfect example.
Yep.
But also the unforced errors, you see more in IndyCar than you do in Formula One. Do you think it's because the cars are harder to drive and the wheelmen are actually having to work in the car? Or is it the quality of the drivers from 10th to the back isn't at the level of like F1 from 10th to the back? Or is it as well the tracks that contribute? Because F1 run on the smoothest surfaces, low curbs, tracks that you can run off and rejoin. What do you think contributes to some of these mistakes we see?
I probably think a little bit of both, maybe, without giving one. Like, I agree, the cars look harder to drive than potentially a Formula One does. But in saying that, you make a good point. The front guys aren't making that many mistakes. I mean, they're still working the wheel. They're still having to drive the things, absolutely, but they're not making a lot of unforced errors. I'm sure it's probably easier to enter IndyCar if you had some money than it is Formula One and things like that. So, maybe is there a couple of guys that are there because of their funding versus their raw speed or ability? I'm sure there's probably that. You get that in a lot of categories, right, that aren't around the world. So, it's probably a little bit of both, to be honest. What do you think, mate? Like, what's the main contributor for you? Do you think it's more the lack of talent, that back end of the field, or do you think maybe it is a car track thing?
Yeah. I mean, I have an opinion on almost everything, and this is the one I've spent all day thinking about. I don't know. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I think that's why I posed it. I want to hear what, you guys listening think as well, because it's interesting. Like Formula One, you don't see a lot of mistakes, but then is it because they're just constantly tyre conserving? I mean, the tracks are so smooth now, especially because of how low the cars run with the downforce and everything and the skid pans, whatever. But you don't tend to see these unforced errors a lot. And then you watch an IndyCar race and they're constantly kicking up dust, dropping wheels off. I mean, that's the one thing too. You don't ever see that in F1 because the edge of the track is never gravel. Yeah. And I love that it's gravel. Like there has to be a penalty. But then also, the reason I've like to and fro with it all day is when someone drops a wheel off, they bring gravel on. So that means when someone gets 6 inches too wide off line, they could spin on gravel. We don't see that in F1. I think there's a lot of contributing factors. It probably, for me, brings it back to F1 has gone too far from reality. I think IndyCar is just the right speed for fantastic close racing where the cars don't have too much downforce. They're not too wide. They're not too big for the tracks. Like you look at Laguna Seca, you put an F1 car on that, you would not see a single overtake.
Wouldn't make a lap.
You wouldn't even be able to have DRS because there wouldn't be a zone that's safe enough to deactivate the rear wing. So I think that I actually reckon IndyCar just has the perfect mix of the car's really difficult to drive. The tracks are bumpy, they're challenging. You drop a wheel off, you're in the gravel, which then means offline becomes dirty. So if you lock a front and run wide like we saw Lando do a few times, you're actually onto the marbles and you are off the track or you're dropping a lot of time. So I don't know. I do think there's a lot of contributing factors, but they've just got the right mix, I reckon, at the moment. They just don't have the pedigree of Formula One in terms of perception. But I do think that some of the errors that come from drivers, and then also, of course, like you said, it is easier to buy a seat in the back 5 cars of IndyCar than it is the back 5 of Formula One. Yeah,
I totally agree with you. I think IndyCar racing is so exciting.
Yeah.
And there's passing and there's people stuffing up. Just on like the driving side too, like you do see really good drivers still, like Joseph Newgarden this year. Had a few mistakes. Amazing driver.
Yeah.
Highly rated globally. So, yeah, I don't know. It is, I think, I think IndyCar did the right balance. The cars are hard as hell to drive. You got to rag them. The tracks are a little bit more sketchy. Plus, maybe you throw in a couple of wobbles at the back and you've got a good time.
95 laps at Laguna Seca. Holy shit, that'd be hard. Like a little.
They would have had an arm pump. Like all the guys talk about how heavy the steering is. Like, physical track. They're always hacking at the wheel. So, very cool stuff.
Quick championship wrap-up. Alex Palou, clearly P1. Pato O'Ward, P2. Scotty Dixon, then Kyle Kirkwood. Kirkwood this weekend I felt like kind of forgot. He made a big mistake. Rinus VeeKay, he absolutely rear-ended. He was setting him up for a pass, but I think he misjudged how much he was slowing down or how early he braked. Yeah. Christian Lundgaard's 5th. Felix Rosenqvist 6th. He got fenced today, which was disappointing on the first lap, I think it was.
Pretty big, wasn't it?
And I think he's amazing. He was very good in junior Formula as well. I think he won Macau in F3, but he was a gun. Colton Herta, P7 in the championship. That's one that surprised me. I really thought Colton would be higher than 7th in the championship. Marcus Armstrong 8th, Will Power 9, David Malukas P10. The thing that stands out very quickly is Scotty Mack and Joseph Newgarden. Again, P12 and 15 for Penske. I mean, they're out there. I mean, Santino Ferrucci has split them in the championship. And Ferrucci, no disrespect with the guy, but I mean, the mistakes, like he made that mistake on the weekend, spinning across before the corkscrew. And yeah, I just don't think they're on the same level as Penske. And I definitely wouldn't put him on the same level as Joseph Newgarden or Scott McLaughlin. So to be splitting the two of those guys is surprising. And Newgarden's only 2 spots ahead of Connor Daly. And you think about Connor, like I love the guy and how hard he works to get in there, but he's really scraped and got this deal together to be not far off Team Penske's.
Just shows
they're just having a tough year.
Yeah, it shows how much of a shitter they're having, doesn't it?
Well, especially because they can go for a championship.
Yeah.
Also shows how hard IndyCar is at the moment. Like Alexander Rossi is an absolute gun. He's 18th in the standings at the moment. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, we next time go to Portland. Alex Palou, favourite again for that one, I would say. He didn't win last year, but he did win in 23, 21. He's on a massive roll of momentum at the moment. I would like to see Colton Herta. So he's been fast in qualifying, polled at Toronto. my pick
Who you
to
got?
not choose the favourite. I want to see Colton Herta get the win.
I'm going to go Scotty Mack. I think he's going to turn
That'd
things
be good.
around. As in Penske will turn things
Yep.
around. Yep. There you go.
Job done.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.